Following on from their eventual guilty pleas at court, Karen's Pelcis, his brother Ilgvars, parents Ainars and Magdalenda Kleina, and wife Madara Stromane were jailed with sentences totalling 33 years. The rest of the group who pleaded guilty but were not jailed were immediately deported back to Latvia.
Sentencing day, it was the culmination of the job. It was almost 18 months of hard work from myself, the team, the Latvian cops, all the prosecutors, all the partnership agencies that we've worked with. And it was the day that the victims, the vulnerable victims, got their justice. We've been heavily involved as a team in dealing with the victims. We presented evidence around 28 victims through the trial, and actually 15 of those came to court. We had people travelling from Germany. Numerous victims travelled all the way back from Latvia. So these victims were really cared about the case and really cared about getting justice. So to get a conviction for something that was so challenging was exceptionally rewarding, not only for us, but also for the victims to know that they've had some justice out of it.
I think the fact that they were given the opportunity to speak and stand up in court, which is something that they didn't think was possible right at the beginning, that was an achievement for them. These victims were controlled. They weren't free. They were afraid of their exploiters, but then also relied on them. They were afraid of speaking to the police. They were afraid of court and giving evidence in front of the 11 people that exploited them. Yet in spite of that fear, they still gave evidence at court in front of their exploiters, and to me that takes courage.
And there were some offenders who, due to the time that they served on remand, were due to be released immediately when their sentence were passed. However, we later found out that they were not released at all and actually kept in custody in the court building and taken to an immigration centre where they've later been deported. So they've had no opportunity whatsoever to really step back foot into the community, to have any single opportunity to exploit any vulnerable people again. And I think that really is one of the best results from this investigation. These people won't offend here again, and they will dare not offend again in Latvia, knowing that the Latvian authorities are still watching down on them hard as well.
The process of recouping the Pelcis crime group's ill-gotten gains through the Proceeds of Crime Act is still ongoing. But with the main players behind bars and the enterprise completely dismantled, the joint investigation team both in the UK and in Latvia were able to briefly sit back and relax, knowing that many victims of the gang had been safeguarded.
Really, my job, since I've been working within modern slavery during the last 18 months, it's really opened my eyes to how vulnerable these people are. They are embedded within our communities. They are trafficked in from all over the place, from all over Europe, all over the world. They're highly vulnerable because a lot of them don't speak English. They're absolutely trapped in their position and they're subjected to years and years of abuse. There is no way out for them through their vulnerabilities. They don't know any better. Their families are often threatened back home, which we've seen firsthand, and they feel absolutely helpless, and there's nowhere for some of these people to turn. And it's not necessarily foreign nationals that are subjected to this criminality. There are people within the UK, on the street next door to where you live, that are being used as domestic slaves, held in servitude.
It's all about money. It's all about profit. So, in general, when we speak about trafficking, we keep in mind that it's a crime about money laundering, because they earn big money from exploitation of people, and they can afford luxury life, nice houses, cars, travels. This is where they spend money.
All the money went to the hands of their exploiters. When you've got vulnerable victims working themselves, working their fingers to the bone, and these workers were out there packing salad, packing food, processing chicken, processing flowers. So what you've got to think about as a general member of the public is next time you go and buy a bunch of flowers for a loved one, which is a luxury item actually, it's not something that you need for a basic existence. You're buying this luxury item for a gift for somebody to make them happy, when actually at the other end of the process, you've got a vulnerable victim that's travelled halfway across Europe and put out to work for 6-7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and they're getting little food and they've got absolutely no luxury or pleasure in their life. They're the ones that are providing your luxury goods.
I feel so proud that we've just been able to help so many people, so many victims of modern slavery and human trafficking, that that needed our help. We were there to help them, to get them the support that they needed, and to enable them to stand up in court and say what they wanted to say. Seeing them come out of court feeling so proud themselves just made it just hit home and made you realise that this is what we do it for. This is why we work so hard, just to achieve those results.